Hi scholars, welcome back to another day of Read Aloud with me, Miss Luna. And today for Read Aloud, we are going to be reading the story Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock. So today when we are reading this story, we are going to be focusing on theme. We're going to be focusing on, that's right, alright, so right now I want you guys to try to do the theme chant on your own. I know you can do it. Alright. Theme chant, get ready, go. Awesome, now let's do it all together. So, theme chant, get ready, go. Theme is the big idea, message, or moral of a story. Awesome job. So scholars, when we are trying to figure out theme, the first thing that we need to do is, what's the first thing that we need to do? Try to think about it. What's the first thing we need to do? Yeah, we first need to think about what is the author trying to tell us. We first need to think about, what is the author trying to tell us? Then we need to think about all the ideas the author has presented to us. We need to think about, when we're thinking about all the ideas that the author has presented to us, then it leads us to our final step to help us think of what the big idea is, to help us think of what when we're trying to figure out what the big idea is, we need to look at all those ideas the author has presented to us and figure out what they have in common. We need to look at all those. We need to figure out what all those ideas have in common. So for example, yesterday when we were reading Cinder Edna, we noticed that all the details the author was showing us of how Cinder Edna was happy and Cinderella was sad, even though they had similar situations, both having an evil stepmother and evil stepsisters who made them do all the work. We noticed the details of Cinder Edna was that she was very happy and that she made the most of what she had instead of being sad about it. Helping us figuring out the theme of the story is when you make the most of what you have, you'll end up being a lot happier than being sad. That was the theme of the story yesterday. So today, when we are reading our story, Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock, I want us to be looking for what is the author trying to tell us and all the ideas and details he's showing to us so we can figure out what the big idea of the story is. Got it? So be on the lookout for that. Alright, I'm going to put up my sunglasses so I can start reading our book. Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock. Alright. Once upon a time, Anansi the spider was walking through the forest when something caught his eye. It was a strange moss-covered rock. How interesting, Anansi said. Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock? Kaboom! Everything went black. Down fell Anansi, senseless. An hour later, Anansi woke up. His head was spinning. He wondered what had happened. I was walking along the path when something caught my eye. I stopped and said, "Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" Kaboom! Down fell Anansi again. But this time when he woke up an hour later, he knew what was happening. Aha! said Anansi. This is a magic rock. And whenever anyone comes along and says the magic words, "Isn't this a strange down he goes. This is a good thing to know, said Anansi, and I know just how to use it. So scholars, right now, I want you guys to start thinking in your head. Start thinking, what happens when someone says the words, "Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" What happens when someone says, Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock? Taking a couple more seconds to think about the answer in your head. Alright, if you have your answer, you can go ahead and shout it out. Yeah, so whenever someone says, isn't this a strange moss-covered rock, we know that they fall down. And we know that because in our story, in the text, it says, aha, said Anise, this is a magic rock. And whenever anyone comes along and says the magic words, isn't this a strange, down he goes, letting us know as the readers that those are the magic words to have someone fall down. Ooh, let's keep on reading, see what's going to happen. So Anise went walking through the forest until he came to Lion's house. Lion was sitting on his porch. At his feet was a great pile of yams. Anise loved yams, but he was too lazy to dig them up himself. Anise said to Lion, "Hello, Lion. Isn't it very hot today?" "Don't you think so?" "Yes, Anise," said Lion. "It is terribly hot." "I am going for a walk in the cool forest," said Anise. "Would you like to come?" "I certainly would," said Lion. So Lion and Anise went walking through the forest. After a while, Anise led Lion to a certain place. "Lion, do you see what I see?" "Oh, yes, Anise," said Lion. "Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" Kaboom! Down fell Lion. Anise ran back to Lion's house and made off with Lion's yams. Ooh, scholars, right now we're going to pause and I want you guys to start thinking in your head. Start thinking, why did Anise offer to take Lion on his walk in the forest? Why did Anise offer to take Lion on his walk in the forest? Why would he do that? Taking a couple more seconds to think about the answer. Alright, if you have your answer, you can go ahead and shout it out. Yeah, so the reason why Anise offered to take Lion on his walk in the forest was so that he could trick Lion and go back and take all of his yams at his house. And we know that because earlier in the text, it says, at his feet was a great pile of yams. Anise loved yams, but he was too lazy to dig them up himself. And he already knew that if he took Lion on a walk in the forest, that he was going to say the magic words so he could fall down. And that would give Anise time to go back and take all of his yams because he's just kind of lazy to pick up the yams himself. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. All right, let's keep on reading, see what's going to happen next. An hour later, Lion woke up. His head was spinning. Anise was nowhere in sight. And when he got home, he found that every single one of his yams was gone. Lion was very sad. But Anise was very happy. He couldn't wait to play his trick again. Once more, Anise went walking through the forest. This time he stopped at Elephant's house. Elephant was sitting on his porch. At Elephant's feet was a great pile of bananas. Anise loved bananas, but he was too lazy to pick them himself. So he said to Elephant, "Hello, Elephant. Isn't it hot out today?" "It is," Elephant agreed. "I'm going for a walk in the cool forest," Anise said. "Would you like to come?" "That sounds nice to me," said Elephant. "Thank you for inviting me, Anise." Ooh, scholars, why is Anise offering to take Elephant on a walk through the forest? Why is Anise offering offering to take Elephant on a walk through the forest. Taking a couple more seconds to think about the answer in your head. All right, and if you have your answer, you can go ahead and shout it out. Yeah, so Anise, Anise is offering to take Elephant on his walk through the forest so that he can trick him just like how he tricked Lion, and so that he could steal his bananas. And we know that because it said in the text, he couldn't wait to play his trick again, letting us know that Anise is going to pull that same mean trick again, but this time on Elephant to get his bananas. Oh my goodness. This is wild. Let's keep on reading. Let's see what's going to happen next. So Anise and Elephant went walking through the forest. After a while, Anise led Elephant to a certain place. Elephant, look! Do you see what I see? Elephant looked. Yes, I do, Anise. Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock? Kaboom! Down fell Elephant. Anise ran back to Elephant's house and made off with all the bananas. An hour later, Elephant woke up. His head was spinning. Anise was nowhere in sight, and when he got home, he found that every single one of his bananas was gone. Elephant was very sad. But Anise was very happy. He couldn't wait to play his trick again. He played it on rhinoceros and hippopotamus. He played it on giraffe and zebra. He played it on every single animal in the forest. Ooh, scholars, right now we're going to pause, and I want you guys to start thinking in your head. Start thinking. I want you guys to make a prediction, so make a guess, make a prediction about how do you think the animals feel about Anise right now? Say silly, Miss Luna. I'm getting all my words tangled up. So, I want you guys to make a prediction on how do the animals feel about Anise? How do all the animals feel about Anise? Taking a couple of seconds to thinking about how they feel. All right, you can go ahead and shout out your predictions. Yeah, those are some pretty good predictions. Well, let's keep on reading and see how the animals feel about Anise. But all this time, watching from behind the leaves was a little bush deer. Little bush deer is small and shy and very hard to see. She watched Anise play his wicked trick again and again on all the other animals. Little bush deer decided it was time for Anise to learn a lesson. So Little Bush Deer went deep into the forest to where the coconut trees grow. She climbed a coconut tree and threw down a great many coconuts. She carried the coconuts home in a basket and set them on her porch. Then she sat down beside them to wait. In a little while along came Anise. Anise's eyes lit up when he saw Little Bush Deer's coconuts. Anise loved coconuts. He loved to eat the tender white coconut meat and drink the sweet coconut milk inside. But he was much too lazy to gather coconuts himself. Instead, he said, "Hello, Little Bush Deer. It is so hot today." Little Bush Deer smiled. "It is very hot, Anise." "I'm going for a walk in the cool forest. Would you like to come?" "Yes, I would," said Little Bush Deer. So Anise and Little Bush Deer went walking in the cool forest. After a while, Anise led Little Bush Deer to a certain place. Little bush deer, look over there. Do you see what I see? Little bush deer knew all about Anise's tricks. She looked. No, Anise, I don't see anything. You must see it. Look very carefully. Little bush deer looked. No, I still don't see anything, she said. Anise began to get angry. You must see it. Look over here. Look where I'm pointing. Do you see it now? No, Anise, said Little Bush Deer. Anise stamped his legs. You see it, you just don't want to say it. Say what? Said Little Bush Deer. You know. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Yes, said Anise. All right then I'll say it to make you happy. You know, said Little Bush Deer. There, I said it. Are you satisfied? No, Anise shouted. You're not supposed to say you know. What am I supposed to say? You're supposed to say, isn't that a strange moss-covered rock? Kaboom! Down fell Anise. Little Bush Deer ran and got all the other animals. Together they went to Anise's house and took back all the good things he had stolen from them. An hour later, Anise woke up. His head was spinning. Little Bush Deer was nowhere in sight, and when he got home, he found his house as empty as it was before. But if you think Anise learned his lesson, you're mistaken, because he's still playing tricks to this very day. The end. All right, scholars, so we just read Anise, the moss-covered rock. And earlier in our lesson, I said that we were focusing on what for this story? We were focusing on, that's right, we were focusing on theme. So your final question that I want you guys to answer down on a piece of paper is, what is the theme of the story? What is the theme of the story? And remember to be answering this in a full race response. And remember that when we're trying to figure out theme, we need to be first looking for what is the author trying to tell us. So what was the author trying to tell us in the story? What ideas was he presenting to us? And what does the big idea and those ideas all have in common? That's going to help you figure out your theme. All right, scholars. Well, thank you for joining me today for Read Aloud. I can't wait for you guys to come back next week and see what books we are reading. All right, scholars. Bye.